the global economy has become so much interconnected that happenings in any of the major economies in terms of either an outbreak of a disease or disruption of, let's say, some mineral resource affects the whole world. China is one of the largest economies in the world. For every, in terms of population, for every one global citizen, there are 5 Chinese. So this is a big market that in terms of any happenings there, definitely will have a major impact not only on Kenya but also globally. Coming back to Kenya, China is the largest trading partner with Kenya in terms of combined exports and imports, standing at about 17.3%, with the key areas being for us as Kenya, we export tea, we export coffee, we export hides and skins, we export base titanium, which Kenya is one of the largest producing countries. From China, we import machinery, we import fertilizer, we import leather, we import electronics, we import synthetics. The trade imbalance between the two countries, of course, is in favor of China. But our exports will suffer, but we will also suffer a slowdown in terms of business because most of the key products are now not coming in. If you look at even the mobile phone market, 3 major mobile phones are manufactured in China. That is Huawei, that is Tecno, and Oppo, which are very popular in the Kenyan market. Right now, traders are saying that the last shipment they received was in early January, so their stocks are running out. So definitely it's going to have an impact in our trade. If you look at clothing, almost 80% of the stuff sold in our stalls are mostly sourced from China. A minimal amount comes from either Dubai or from Turkey, but even Dubai sources most of its products from China. So definitely that will have an impact in supply, and it will definitely force some of our traders to close down. In terms of tourism, Chinese tourists outside the EU and America, China is the 3rd kind of largest tourism source market for Kenya. And now that there are travel restrictions, there will definitely be a major impact in our income, in tourism being one of our largest foreign exchange earners. When you look at transport, look at Kenya Airways. It's been now about, we are entering the 3rd week since Kenya Airways stopped its operations to Guangzhou, China. Within the first 2 weeks of stopping operations, KQ lost almost, in terms of revenue, close to 80 million shillings. So you can imagine the impact if this thing takes much longer in terms of transport. China has, in terms of also sea operations, shipping, China has the highest number of ports, and almost 50% of global trade in terms of shipping passes through China. So most shipping lines are now not either going to China or are not picking goods from China, and this will definitely also affect our trade, because even goods from other countries, if they cannot dock in China and come to Kenya, it will have an impact on us.
You can see the Nairobi Securities Exchange last week dropped a massive 16-year low because of this, and today, starting yesterday actually, we saw the shilling drop against the greenback. Already is now at 103 against the dollar, and it was playing around 100 shillings last week. So it is really going to be tough. And you know, the reason, the impact, the huge impact will be when the shilling hits around 110, because you can imagine when importers are getting their commodities out of the country, they'll have to use a lot of shillings to bring in their commodities, and they'll have to pass that cost to consumers. So it is going to impact on inflation. I'm trying to look at the March inflation, what will be, how it look like. It is really tough. And the tourism sector, already this virus is in already 70 countries, including Germany and Italy, which are some of our best sources. In Malindi and Diani, you see, people are now really starting to feel it. Hotel sector are feeling it. Today, the Qatar, the agencies for travels say that they already felt a 10% drop in business. So it is really massive, and we can't really, we just hope that it will now, we'll get a solution to this. What we can also fear is we fear if anything, or rather an incident is reported in Kenya, because right now we are reporting cases in other continents and maybe few countries in Africa, but the moment it hits here, then it won't be an economic problem, it will be a social economic problem, which is really a huge one. It will mean that movement will be at least minimal. That means there's no business happening around. So you can imagine a loaf of bread, we are going to buy it at around 100 shillings plus if this thing hit here in the country. We pray that it doesn't.